The Russian Prime Minister tonight calling it a declaration of, quote, all-out trade war against Russia. New U.S. sanctions bill against Russia, North Korea, and Iran, well, they're now in effect, and after President Trump signed that bill into law today. The president did so reluctantly, writing in a signing statement that he believes certain parts of the bill limiting his power to negotiate with other countries were unconstitutional. The president, though, notably did not take issue with the clear statement in the bill that Russia interfered in the 2016 presidential election, codifying into U.S. law the determination of the U.S. intelligence agencies that Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered an influence campaign in 2016 aimed at the United States presidential election. The main legislative push, though, for the White House today, a controversial one, a new one, a merit-based legal immigration system. Chief White House correspondent John Roberts starts us off tonight. Good evening, John.
Brett, good evening to you. With his top legislative priority, repeal and replacement of Obamacare, stalled in the Senate, President Trump opened up another legislative can of worms today, urging Congress to take a swing at immigration reform. With little appetite in Congress for wholesale immigration reform, President Trump took a bite-sized approach today, throwing his full support behind a plan to reform the system for awarding green cards.
As a candidate, I campaigned on creating a merit-based immigration system that protects U.S. workers and taxpayers, and that is why we are here today, merit-based.
The proposal put forward by Republican Senators Tom Cotton and David Perdue would put ultra-high skilled workers at the head of the line for permanent resident status.
If we're going to continue as the innovator in the world and the leader economically, it's imperative that our immigration system focus on highly skilled permanent workers who can add value to our economy and ultimately achieve their own version of the American dream.
The RAISE bill for reforming American immigration for a strong economy is modeled on the merit-based systems employed by Canada and Australia. Some critics charge it unfairly targets Latinos, also families, because it ends so-called chain migration, where immigrants can sponsor extended family members. The plan faces long odds in a Congress already wrestling over health care, tax reform, the debt ceiling, and a looming budget battle. But Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton remains optimistic.
This is the kind of thing that in bigger past and failed efforts at comprehensive immigration reform that Democrats have suggested they could support as well. And I would suggest to them, I'd suggest to you, that if we can succeed on this kind of common sense incremental reform to immigration, it might give the American people more confidence to tackle some of those more challenging issues.
President Trump today also took on the issue of new sanctions against Russia, reluctantly signing a bill he complains is seriously flawed and improperly encroaches on executive power because it limits the president's authority to conduct diplomacy and lift sanctions against Russia. In an exclusive interview with Fox News in Montenegro, Vice President Mike Pence said the president signed the measure for the sake of national unity.
President Trump believes whatever frustration that we feel for Congress limiting his authority to conduct foreign affairs, that on balance this legislation reaffirms the president's strong commitment to ongoing sanctions with Russia, to make it clear that their destabilizing behaviors are not acceptable to the United States.
In addition to Russia, the sanctions also target North Korea and Iran. At the UN Security Council today, Ambassador Nikki Haley called out Iran's bad behavior and the Security Council for allowing it to continue.
As long as we allow the Iranian regime to violate this council's prohibitions with impunity, it will be a source of weapons to terrorist groups that will only grow in volume and destructive capability.
And President Trump couldn't resist calling out Congress for handing him a bill he believes will limit his ability to make deals. In a statement complaining, quote, "I built a truly great company worth many billions of dollars. That is a big part of the reason I was elected. As president, I can make far better deals with foreign countries than Congress." And in what appeared to be a day of calling people out, Russia's Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev called out President Trump, saying his signing of the sanctions bill shows that the Trump administration is, quote, "utterly powerless." You pointed out at the top, Brett, that he called this tantamount to a full-scale trade war with Russia and one that ends all hopes of a better relationship. Brett?
And John, a lot of changes at the White House recently. We're hearing about another staff shakeup tonight. What about that?
One more, and this is a pretty big one, though, behind the scenes. The Senior Director of Intelligence at the National Security Council, Ezra Cohen-Watnick, has been removed from his position. H.R. McMaster, the National Security Advisor, said they were just looking for a different set of experiences going forward. Ezra Cohen-Watnick is famous as being at the center of that controversy surrounding Congressman Devin Nunes' visit here to the White House, where he was looking at those raw intelligence reports. He said led him to believe that many members of the Trump administration were being unmasked. Brett?
All right, John, thank you.